Bill, you and I have talked a lot about higher education, and we talk about universities, and also the difference between just a regular university and a university that states it's, calls itself a Christian place of higher education. What kind of advice do you think Jesus would have, based on your understanding of the leadership practices of Christ? What kind of advice do you think Jesus would have for a modern, when I say a modern Christian university? And by that, what I mean is, a place that's Christian in name and maybe has chapel and everything, but that's bigger. Well, I guess a school that calls itself a Christian university.
Well, I'm smiling about this because I'm sure people are not going to like what I'm going to have to say here. You know what Jesus said, if you're not hot or you're not cold, I'm going to spit you out of my mouth. And I believe there's going to be a lot of Christian universities that are going to be spit out of Jesus' mouth. And the reason why, the ones who do not proclaim Jesus at all, I can handle. Because I know right where they stand. They're just a secular university out to teach us how to be more successful or how to get a degree where we can get a job. But those Christian universities that do not make Jesus Christ the center of their education, if their mission is not to lead the lost to Christ, they got a problem. And I really believe Jesus is going to look at those people and say, you know what? You're lukewarm and you're in trouble. You're in big trouble. And so that's my opinion now. My opinion is that those universities need to get back to their core values, and that is to promote bringing people to Christ, teaching people how to teach other people. And when it comes to education, you don't read about Jesus going to a Christian college. He was the Word, he was the living Word. He didn't send his 12 followers to a Christian college and then come back. I tell you what, you go to a Christian college, come back, and if you got this diploma, then we'll hire you and we'll go out here and we'll change the world. He took 12 guys from all different backgrounds. He modeled the behavior he wanted them to follow. He educated them in what was important. I am the way, the truth, and the light. No one can come to the Father except through me. That was the message he taught them. And that was the message they taught the world. That was their degree. And I believe we need to get back to that.
So let me ask you, what is the value of having a university that's a Christian university?
The value is getting an education where you can go out and get a job just like any other university. I don't see people coming out of these universities that are equipped to go out and seek and save the lost. I've spoken to these universities. I've visited with these universities. I've met people who come out of these universities, and rarely do I ever find someone who comes out that really interacts with the common person out on the street. And in fact, it's kind of like a bubble effect in most of these Christian colleges. I'm sure there's exceptions to this.
Now, I'm going to keep driving at this one because I think it's pretty important dealing with discipleship. But based on what you said about, Jesus' model of educating, about modeling his behavior and mentoring people and bringing them in there, is there any place for that in your imagination in the Christian university? Or can you think of any examples of how that is woven into education, I guess?
Yeah, I don't know that much about Christian universities. I'm just seeing what I see. My daughter attended a Christian university. I don't see a lot of people coming out of that university that are going out and seeking and saving the lost. I interact with other universities that are Christian education. I believe the benefit is, I believe that some of those people really have good morals and they have good purposes. They make themselves very available to the students. So that feature is really great. But I'm not for sure what happens internally. I think they get their eyes off of God and they get it on sports. They get it on numbers. They get it on raising money. They get it on, making sure they're people pleasers in order that they can do their funding. And then when they get desperate, they go to the government. And that really compromises where they're going to. And that's why I really believe that education should start in the home. And then it should go with Christian people who are mentoring other people to be stronger Christians.
Great.